Hey y'all, what's up? What's happening? Your boy E Beezy, E Buck in the building. And there's that dude, the sports guru Hugh in the house.
What's good, everybody?
You know it's 8 o'clock, so you know what time it is. Time for Game Time Audible. Time for us to talk about some sports today. I'm ready. Are you ready, Hugh?
Yes, sir. Definitely ready to get the ball rolling.
Yeah, but of course we gotta let y'all get ready. So what we're gonna do is take this quick commercial break. When we come back, we're gonna get straight into it. What we gonna start with tonight, Hugh?
Man, we're gonna get with the World Series game one. And how did you feel about everything in that game, man? It was not as exciting as I thought it'd be, but we'll save that for after the commercial break.
All right, we'll go there. So yeah, when we get back, game one, World Series, followed by other sports and other things. See you in the bit. I say see you in the bit. There we
Come on now. Okay, black on. Get into it. Black on. Look at that. David Ford. Right there. That's his thing. Black on. He don't know Tom. Look at that. David Ford. That's his name. He don't know Tom. Yeah. Yes. Oh, here we go. Oh, I can't see the demons. I can't see the demons, but I can see the light.
We are creating black luxury across this country.
Night Network presents Pastor Sean Love. Pastor Sean Love, devoted father and husband, a residing pastor at the River Rouge Bible Assembly in River Rouge, Michigan. Join him as he gives us messages from God's Word, Bible study, and encouragement. You can find him on YouTube under Sean Love. Have you been scrolling Facebook and looking for that quick sports fix? Want a quick peek of what's going on in the latest sports news? Check out Pure to the Game sports blog with the sports guru, Hugh D. Lee. He'll get you together. Check it out. Follow it on Facebook. Make sure you like it. The views and or opinions expressed here on Gametime Audible is that of the host and or guests, and does not necessarily reflect those of the Nighthawk Network or its affiliates. Viewer and listening discretion is advised. What's going on, people? Game Time Audible in effect. It is me, your boy E Beezy, and that is the sports guru himself, Hugh Lee. And we're ready to get started. What we talking about, Hugh?
All right, man. You already know what time it is. We are ready and brushed up on it, man. Let's get to the point, man. World Series game one. How did you feel the outcome was, man? And do you feel like there's really going to be any competition in this one? Do you think we're going to have to bring out the brooms early this year?
I do not. I think this will be a competitive series. Would not be surprised if Houston wins tonight, ties it up at 1. The main thing that stuck out for me in that game is the performance of Charlie Morton. Incredible effort considering what happened to him during the game. There's a point in time he got hit by a pitch and it actually fractured bones in his leg, and he still went on to pitch 2 additional innings before finally being pulled. Can you imagine what type of pain he was in dealing with that? And now the injury is so bad, not only is he out for the rest of the series, but will probably need surgery for that leg. So, you got to think. He was thinking this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Even though he did pitch for the Tampa Bay Rays last year, you don't go to the World Series that often. Everybody ain't Tom Brady where every year you go into a playoff. So at that point, he's thinking, let me get what I can out this and do what I can to help us win. But, yeah, I was amazed by that. Beyond that, I wasn't surprised that the Braves won Game 1.
What surprised me the most about Game 1 was the fact that they actually won in Houston in a hostile environment. But they've been doing that all year. So I understand when you said it didn't really surprise you, and their big players stepped up, man. What surprised me the most is how they're doing this right now. Effectively just with all the gamemanship and all the team, efforts. But I was really surprised, man. But definitely, we talked about it already, man. To not have the heavy hitter who was definitely a runner, he was, to me, he was top in the MVP vote, man. Not just a runner-up. Now when you look at his show, it's probably the clear cut, but I still feel like Ronald Acuna was right there knocking on his door into that injury, man. And I thought that was going to hold Atlanta back because they wasn't playing that well at first, man. And they just got some really good additions on the team, man. And I think that's what helped them out because I feel like when they do their trade deadlines, man, they have the best trade deadline out of all sports, man. And that helped their team, man. And now from those additions to the team, they're in the World Series, man. They won Game 1. So, yeah, man, they had a really pretty good ride this year, man.
When I look at the Braves, I can't help but think about the Toronto Blue Jays. That's basically the same squad. The only difference is the Braves got better pitching. If Blue Jays pull off some good deals in the offseason and improve their pitching staff, I can see these two teams playing each other next year.
I can't wait, man, because we always love to get into it when it comes to the hot stove, man. That'd be the hottest time of the year in baseball. It's just a whole bunch of wheeling and dealing, man. They got no salary cap. But that's the best part about when it comes to winter, man, because even when you think baseball's over, they have a huge offseason, man. Probably one of the best offseasons. Yeah, I love football and what they do on the when they had their trades and stuff, and free agent frenzy, and basketball does a good job too as well on their offseason. But I still feel like, man, that will make baseball relevant through the winter months, man, because of just all the good acquisitions they get. And plus, they don't have no salary cap, man. So the sky's the limit for those dudes. You try to get a $200 million player or two on their team.
Absolutely. And don't forget the Chapter 5 rule. There's been some players that have come through that, and they ended up being great players. Think about the Tigers, for instance. They got Badu in the Chapter 5 draft. And see how well he played this year. So, yeah, most definitely. But in terms of the series itself right now, I say if Atlanta goes up 2-0, they win. They win in this thing, and probably in like 5. But if they Houston equals it up as I expect they will tonight, I say this is a 6 or 7 game series.
And when was the last time Atlanta won? 1999?
1995.
1999. Damn. It was a long time ago, man. But that's good, though, man, because we who saw Atlanta, we knew them in the greatness days with Smoltz and Maddox and all those players, man. It's good to see them back and competing again. We definitely thought they were a year behind last year, so I guess we was on point with that, man. That was a good prediction.
Right, I mean, because keep in mind, that 95 team is about 6 or 7 Hall of Famers on that squad.
What's up, P?
Pride in the building. What up, though, Pride? Bro, always checking in as usual. Thank you, bro. We appreciate it. Happy belated birthday yet again, bro. Man, it's coming up. Yeah, just so you guys know, next week, I will be not doing the show because I'll be celebrating my birthday still. I don't know if my brother has determined he's going to do a show or not. I want him to take the week off. You take the week off.
I've been doing a lot, man. I've been working crazy hours, and plus, man, after, death in the family, man, I've been needing to catch up on sleep. So yeah, that'd be definitely something I do. E.
Good. So yeah, we'll be back in 2 weeks to talk about it, and definitely be something to talk about at that point for a couple reasons. We'll get into that later in the show. But that's pretty much what I got for the baseball. What's next? You? What's next, man?
Man, the NBA hot start, man. I didn't expect some of the hot starts on some of the teams, but I did in a way, man. Like for instance, to see Golden State go 4-0, that's nothing that's new to me. I definitely felt like I was a little surprised because I thought with Clay being in their lineup, it'll definitely help, but he's not even in their lineup, and they still lighten it up. And a lot of it is because I believe that your man's Stephen Curry, man, he stepped up early, man, because he usually kind of be in the cusp. He don't really rise to the occasion till like within a month or two to where he really started getting on himself. He had a few injuries recently, but to come now and be healthy, to be able to start an NBA season fresh, make the season start that they're doing. And what really surprised me too is not only their start, but Chicago's 4-0, man. And I feel like they have some good acquisitions to their team, man. To see them 4-0, man, I'm not really surprised, but I really actually got to give props, and I know my man's Pride over here chilling, man, so he gonna love this. New York Knicks, man, they've been playing hella well, man, as a collective unit. Was really surprised to see how they kind of bullied Philly, man. And I know they got their own issues, and we ain't gonna get into that, man. We're gonna stay off of that right now. But at the same time, I just felt like the talent on Philly a little bit more trumped, that team. The Knicks, man, they got a lot of good guys coming up, man. And it's really been impressive, man, to see Fournier leave and my man's Kemba Walker. They left the Celtics and they made a home over there, man. They loving them in New York right now, man. So, yeah, those are two good pickups on that team, man. And that's basically elevated their fast start as well, that their 3-1 start. What teams impress you the most right now in the NBA? I know it's still early, but man, we got to give props where props due with the teams who are playing well right now.
Well, definitely got to give props out to the Bucks. They looking real good already early on. I really don't see them repeating, to be honest, but I am impressed with what they look like so far.
Interesting.
Millions for the love, appreciate it. He said, "Don't give Chicago no props yet," and I understand why Pride says that. Keep in mind, 2 of those 4 wins was against our hapless Pistons, and right now, Pride, you got to kind of give the Pistons a bit of a pass. Remember, the number 1 pick in the draft yet to play so far this season, and clearly they need him to be in that lineup because hopefully he will bring some calmness to what they're doing over there. Pistons playing real scattered at times right now. That's why they have all these crazy turnovers, trying to do all these behind-the-back passes and super dunks and whatnot. It's a young team, and they're playing like a young team. And granted, Cade Cunningham's a youngster in his own right, but there's a maturity about him that I really like, and I'm hoping that will rub off on his teammates when he comes back, which should be sometime this week, and they will play better as a unit. Because right now I'm looking at Coach, and he like he ready to throw some things. It's not a good dude. Another team that I'm surprised is not doing quite so well. Hopefully that changes tonight because I bet on them. Is the Portland Trail Blazers. They got Chauncey over there, and you thought Chauncey would get them together. Right now, they seem to be playing. They're not playing well at times. It's like there's certain spurts in the game where they are very lackadaisical. Jerkins is not playing up to his potential. Dame Dollar not shooting well from the outside. And basically, Chauncey came out and said he feel like they're not putting forth good effort right now. So there's already some talk about that in terms of him basically calling his team out early on in the season. Okay, Pride is saying, I'm not trying to hate on them Bulls, but I look at their upcoming schedule and it's tough. If they make it through these next 15 games at 500 or better, I will give them props. Fair enough.
Yeah, absolutely, Pride. I feel you.
A few of those games they got coming up is against the Bucks, so that will kind of give us an idea of what they're about. But yeah, I definitely like Levine and older brother Ball playing together. They very cohesive as a unit. Those two in particular.
Yeah, I actually thought they really would go well, man, because Ball doesn't play as bad as people thought that he did, and I think when he was with the Pelicans, he played pretty well when he was healthy, man. And to go somewhere and for them to actually say we want to pay him and to appreciate him and his attributes, for him to be over there and playing the way he is. And like he said, man, it's still early this year, but at the same time, I already know, man, that I still feel like they'll be close to 500 at least. So I give them that much. Yeah, you're right, Rose, man. I definitely been enjoying seeing the Knicks play. When they played the Sixers that game, it was so much of a good old school rivalry in the past, but to see them play and see how good that game was too, man, that was actually it was pretty good, man. But the best part about it is we ain't gonna talk about this man, you know who. But I felt like that team as a unit and Philly still playing well, man. I like they don't miss that piece at all.
Okay, well, here's the thing. You know, we talked about this pre-show that we were going to talk about Benjamin today, but I got to say this much. The stuff that got ridiculous, okay? He is being a child about this thing. He really is. Bottom line is either you a big old baby and you scared to take your medicine, Philly fans, you're not a real man because you're not willing to step up and take responsibility for your actions and get in that gym and working on free throws and that jumper, a jumper that we know you can hit. We didn't see the tapes, okay? Or 3, you just feel disrespected and you going out like a little punk because you cannot take people's criticisms of you. You need thicker skin, sir. Wherever you go, wherever you end up going, I really hope you are prepared to put in the full maximum effort. Otherwise, it's probably going to be your last stop in the NBA. Real talk.
Yeah, because people going to have doubts on him, man. They feel like if you gave up on your team, what would make you not give up on us? And that's going to be something in the back of teams' mind, even if they don't say it or say, oh, we got good chemistry, everything is going well with us in the locker room. That's bull, man. You know, people going to always have that doubt in their head because you put that doubt there. If you didn't plant that seed, people wouldn't even think that way. So, yeah, unfortunately, wherever he go, that's going to follow him, man. That's going to be them skeletons in the closet that he going to have to answer to.
Right, that's why he needs to go to one of them teams where somebody going to take them under his wing like, look, we got you. But I need you to do your job, okay? In the end, his story needs to end up the way Antonio Brown's has for Tampa Bay, where now we hardly even talk about that dude anymore. And remember, that was all we was talking about when all this crazy stuff was going on.
Now it's like under the radar.
Exactly. Ball is a good player. He worked on his game every season. The Lakers gave up on him early for obvious reasons, but he has added muscle and was already a decent defender, true. Worked on his three-point shooting and his pass first shot, second point guard, which works well for a pure scorer like Levine. I agree. Nick Anderson was never the same, but I wish Captain Kangaroo better. Yeah, after that whole free throw incident in the playoffs, he wasn't quite the same after that. You're right. But let's move on. Yeah,
okay.
wait a minute before we move on. Yeah, there are a couple other teams I've been working at that have been rather impressive to me as well. Denver Nuggets. Denver Nuggets looking real good right now, y'all, especially when you consider Murray is not even playing yet. We talking about 26 to 28 points a game, sitting on the bench getting himself together. But between, of course, the Joker, who is just playing lights out still, and Michael Porter Jr. People sleeping on Michael Porter Jr.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, the truth. Understand they said in one of the broadcasts that, you know, when they go shoot in the gym and they talk to the players and the coach is like, who's the best shooter on the team? And you expect them to say Murray or Jokic. That everybody says nope. It's that dude, Michael Porter Jr. And then also remember, there's another person on that squad by the name of Bo. They basically just trying to thicken him up some. But when they put him in at the end of the games or for bits and pieces, that dude got the potential to be a decent player in this league. Maybe even better than his father was.
He definitely will be because he's so versatile as a big man. He can dribble. He can shoot the three. He can grab rebounds. He can block. He can do some of everything. His father was more of a goal defender, and he was one of those guys that he was a great defender, period. But, yeah, man, this guy, Bobo, got it all, man. He got game.
I would not be surprised if some team end up trading for that dude at some point. All right, look who's here. Yacht is in the room. What up, H2?
What's up, H2?
I totally agree with you about Denver. It wouldn't take much to outplay Pops. Then there's
yeah, man, I was impressed too with the Charlotte Hornets, man. Miles Bridges, and to see all those guys, LaMelo Ball, man, that's a good young team, and that's what I like too because it seems like they're feeding off of the chemistry they had from last season, man. But damn, LaMelo is a hell of a leader over there, man. I've always thought he was a good player, but I was really impressed his rookie season, the way he handled himself this year, man. That dude is the truth, man. It's like, that's what they got good mentioned about LeVar Ball, man. He said that LaMelo was the best, and he had the biggest heart out of him, man. And he's starting to prove that on the biggest stage.
And I'm really hoping that his brother somehow finds his way to the league. Keep in mind, he did okay in the preseason, okay enough to get put on the G squad over there in Charlotte. But I really hope that he makes it so all three of them get the opportunity to play in the league for real, for real. That would just be kind of cool. Granted, I'm really surprised actually that their father has definitely taken more of a let my boys do their thing, and we don't see him that much anymore. But yet I'm sure he's still cashing in on all the benefits of being dad,
Yeah, absolutely. That's
right.
the case.
All right, hold on. I agree with Guru about Melo, but I disagree with Ball Senior trying to do those shoes again. See, like I said, they're still trying to cash in, and they still trying to do the little reality show as well.
Shoes are ridiculous. The price too, man. It's like somebody trying to do all that. Come on, man.
Yeah. Okay, what else you got for us, Hugh?
All right, man. Let's get into some of the college game day stuff, man. It wasn't a lot of crazy games, but it was a few games that I saw under the radar, man. I want to talk about first one of the upsets, man, which it made me look at it too different. I was so pissed off with this team, man, because they kind of shunned the Big Ten. And when you do that, man, you shun me and you spit in my face. But we're going to talk about those scrubs anyway. Number 7 ranked at the time, Penn State versus Illinois, man, with like 1,000 overtimes. What the hell was going on in that game, man? You tell me, E.
9 overtimes. 9. Understand the overtime rules. At certain points, it's like, look, just go ahead and run this 2-point conversion and y'all can win. Just get the first down right quick.
Please.
I mean, we start y'all from like right here. Just kind of walk somebody up halfway and then kick this little pooch kick in the field. How do you not finish that game until the 9th overtime? And then Illinois actually brings in the hurt starter to finish the game because they didn't went through so much in terms of players and people. So, Peters, the old Michigan quarterback, by the way. Interesting fun fact, y'all. 3 of the former Michigan quarterbacks are presently playing in college football between Illinois and I believe one is out there in Salt Lake and the other one in Tennessee. But yet here we are in Penn State and Illinois trying to figure out who's going to win between them 2 squads. It should be like, they got a first-year coach over there in Illinois. Franklin been there 8-9 seasons. What's going on? I think I know what's going on, Hugh. He already packing his stuff over there. You know the rumor. You know
who
next USC. You know they recruiting that dude.
Hey, Sue Klein.
Can we talk national cheerleading championship? Yeah, you is just joking now. NCAA totally need to add some sudden death rules along with the
that was ridiculous.
9 overtimes is stupid. The only time that makes any type of sense if we are in the playoffs. In a regular season game, no. You see every other sport have adapted new rules for overtime, so these games ain't running to 4, 5, 6 hours. Okay. Mama Coco.
That game was still on.
Yeah, exactly. But no, that game, that was ridiculous. But bottom line, I don't see that dude at Penn State next year. If he not over there at USC, he probably down there at Florida State. He taking one of them big jobs. I think he done got as far as he can get with Penn State, to be honest. And absolutely. I think the players are starting to feel that. They're starting to feel like their coach ain't going to be here no more. Thank you, Mama Coco. Appreciate you. There's that game. Another game that I looked at and was like, what's going on here? What happened to Clemson, y'all? What happened to them, Hugh?
Man, they on that milk cart, man. I feel like they got some talent over there, but I believe that they depended too heavily on the boys, man, which is now in the NFL. One of them's hurt, and we always talk about this guy. This my main man's on Travis Etienne. Then at the same time, man, Mr. Trevor Lawrence himself, man, who I feel like definitely when you put all that weight on a team to compete and don't, because DJ Uliangalele don't look like he's that guy, unfortunately. He had the weapons last year to actually look good, but now he don't have the weapons, and I don't still feel like he's stepping up as their team leader to do.
But, you know, they was top 5 in recruiting this year, Hugh. They got all them 5-star recruits over there. Why are we not getting better results, man? I know it got to be somebody in the wings that you can put in the game, much like how Michigan is swapping out McCarthy for old boy from time to time.
They need to. They need to start mixing it up and see what talent they got, man, because some of the guys going to probably leave in the portal, man, when it gets to the point where you're not playing them and you're not seeing all your talent. And then you can miss a guy, man. It could be a diamond in the rough right there that you leave behind, go to another team and make you pay.
Right. Thank you, Mama Coco. I see you running all them gifts. We appreciate you.
I like what H2 said on that last one.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It happens in the NFL. I think that's why we got some of the injuries we got right now. But yeah, college, first stringers definitely could get overplayed, particularly when they don't need to. You know, you got schools like Alabama and Georgia who basically find themselves in situations most weeks where at the halftime they can sit everybody down, start the second string, sit everybody down in third quarter, start the water boy and all of them. But yeah, most of these other teams, they got what they got. Take Cincinnati, for instance. They really don't have much in terms of second string, okay? Even though they running up these games against some of their lesser opponents, they pretty much got to play who they got because that's who they got. After that, it gets real thin. So it really depends on what type of school you got and what your recruiting is. I mean, keep in mind, oftentimes, H2, when you look at like some of the HBCU schools that I know you enjoy, yeah, they don't have many big name talents down there. So after that first string, the pickings get real slim. So they almost got to play who they play. But that was a good question, H2. Absolutely.
Yeah, that was a hell of a question.
Should have played. Yeah, you about right, H2. You about right. Just popped in.
The more athletic one too to play.
I appreciate you coming through, Mama Coco. Thank you much. But yeah, go ahead. What you saying?
All right, we about to jump on the other almost upset game, but then it was like, man, the team found a way to lose like they normally do, man. And this is a pretty good rival too, man. Oregon versus UCLA. I thought that was going to be a little better than what it was. At first, when I saw the game, you know me, my eyes wide open and I'm dead into the screen and seeing what's happening. Like, what the hell's going on right now? UCLA was going to work at first, but then Oregon is Oregon, man. They found a way to persevere, man, to win the game 34-31. Is it more about Oregon? Do you think that they were bored at that game, or do you think that UCLA just really gave them a challenge?
Pac-12 is trash. Let me expound on that just a little further. I'm sitting here and we're going to read you the top 25, okay? We got Georgia 1, Natty 2, Alabama 3, Oklahoma 4, Ohio State 5, Michigan 6. Here's Oregon at number 7. They are 6-1. After Oregon, there are only one other team in the Pac-12 in the top 25, and that's BYU. And truthfully, BYU ain't really played much of anybody, okay?
They shouldn't be in the top 25 if you ask me.
Understand. The only reason Oregon is that high is because of how they play against Ohio State.
Yeah, absolutely.
They should not even be in the top 20, okay? Pac-12 is trash. It is. If they had to play SEC teams or Big Ten teams every week, most of them will have 2 or 3 losses by now. It's not even the same level of football, okay? They're right up there with the ACC. That's semi-trash at this point. But no, when all is said and done, the only thing we're gonna be thinking about the Pac-12 is the fact that they got the Rose Bowl, and that's one of the big games. They're not gonna be nowhere near this. Remember, it's like 8 undefeated teams still in college football, and ain't none of them in the Pac-12. Trash. Basura.
Tell them how you really real. Tell them how you really feel. E.
Basura.
Hey man, I don't care what nobody had to say on this one. Y'all won't walk and fight me, man. On this one, I can care less what y'all say. I was happy because, no disrespect, I don't really still feel like this team is a bad team, but they were a team who was making a little bit more. They kind of remind you of an Boise State, but at the same time, man, it's like, I know you ain't gonna like to hear this, man. It was another upset game, though. What in the hell is going on with Coastal Carolina, man? Losing to that team start with an A and a last name is State. And I don't even mention them, man, because he'd kick me off the podcast if I say they whole name.
I can't. Coastal Carolina, granted, good team, good record, but no, they not for real. Not for real. They play. If they play Penn State, they probably lose by 4 touchdowns right now. Then they're not even on the level. Like I said, some teams they just luck of the draw right now. They did just enough to squeak back with a few extras, like Wake Forest, for instance. Another team is not quite as good as they record will indicate.
So they were more like a flavor of the month to you, in your opinion, man, huh?
Absolutely.
All right, man, we about to get to the games, the heavy hitting games, man, right now, man. And I want to say the best for last, but one of the games I see is the SEC battle, man. Ole Miss versus Auburn, man. With Auburn's back ranked again, so it's going to be the 10 versus number 18, man. Who do you have in there?
I say Ole Miss pulls that out because, remember, think about their coach. That dude not having a good season by his standards, okay? He wanted to go and show out on his boy Saban. That didn't happen. He wanted to blow out the other team that they played that was ranked. That didn't happen. You know, Tennessee, they still talking about that dude. Do you remember what happened a couple weeks ago when they played Tennessee? It got so ugly there, they had to basically shut the game down for several minutes because the fans got to throwing cans, boots, change, everything they could think of at that fool and players.
Golf balls at him. They had every right to, man. I feel like that dude's a coward when it comes down to it, man. And I definitely had to give him a little respect when he was with Alabama, but he's no longer. I didn't like the way he left the NFL when he read that note like a coward. I didn't like the way he left Tennessee for USC, and then he went to, was it SMU or one of them? It was some Florida Atlantic. That's what it was. And then now he's back into like a legitimate team with Ole Miss, man. I just don't like this man's character, man. Yeah, the team looks good, man. I definitely like them offensively. The defense is not that bad, but yeah, man, I definitely do. Unfortunately, I'm gonna leave a sour taste in my mouth. I'm gonna go with Ole Miss too, man. I got actually Ole Miss by 2 touchdowns too, man. They're 2 touchdowns favor, in my opinion.
Okay, keep going, Hugh. I'll explain in a second. Keep going.
All right, you already know what I'm about to say next, man. We were just dogging these things out, man. We threw them through the mud. Penn State versus Ohio State. Do you think it's going to be a bounce back game, or do you think this is going to be the end of Penn State being ranked?
Penn State pretty much done for the season, okay? Like I said, they coach, he already checking out. I promise you, there's probably boxes at that dude's house right now from Home Depot ready to pack his stuff to go to the next school. By the way, this will answer your question. That's footage of the incident between Tennessee and Ole Miss and what happened. You got
to see that. It was wild. It looked like a wrestling match, man. Pride, you behave now. But yeah, that was like a wrestling match, man. It was really crazy. That was an exciting game to watch just because of all the backlash and animosity.
The only thing I remember close to that from my personal college days was when Eastern Michigan played Wisconsin one year at the field house, and it started to get real ugly up in there. and people got to throwing stuff on the basketball floor, and the AD got up and read everybody for filth. We don't act like that here. Act like you guys got some damn sense. I remember that. That was great. Although we did upset them that day. And they were ranked, no less. But yeah, it got real ugly. They was hitting fans.
You see it? Yeah, you got to see that whole video. It was wild. Mm-hmm.
The fans was hitting the players with the golf balls, H2. It got real out of hand up there. Golf balls.
With one of them boys.
It got out of hand up in there. Shout out to Michael Clark checking into the building. What up, Mike? Shout out to I Need You, Latina. Thank you guys for coming on through. Yamin. But okay, repeat the last question. I'm sorry. I was trying to get that information for H2.
Man, as far as the Penn State game, man, who do you have in that one?
So that must have been a long time ago. No, actually, that was a couple weeks ago, H2.
No, that was not so long ago at all.
That happened a couple weeks ago, H2. Yeah, the school actually got fined for that, by the way. I don't remember what it was, but, you know.
I would definitely start it off, man. I feel like in this game right here, it's going to get ugly and fast, man. I don't think it's going to be close. I just don't think Penn State bring that raw that they did at one point, man, when they were winning in the beginning of the season when they beat Wisconsin. But then at the same time, we didn't know who Wisconsin was. We thought Wisconsin was going to be more of a powerhouse, and they've been more of a laugher to us this year. Very disappointing, man. Penn State, man, I just feel like they always get ranked high when they do well and when they have a 3 or 4 game winning streak, but it just seems like they just take it off. Ohio State trying to keep their image, man, after losing to Oregon so early in the season. They got the image to maintain, man. They still trying to fight, for that Big Ten title, man, and that's still going to be a battle. So I still feel like that they're a good enough team that where we start to see now the Penn State pretender, I actually got them by 3.5 touchdowns.
Okay. I ain't mad at that. Like I said, I think Penn State, I would not count on them much more the rest of the year. As far as I'm concerned, they coach on his way out the door. And I think it's going to start to affect the players more and more as the year goes on. Clearly there's been people who have been asking, okay, what about the USC job? What about the Florida State job? He has that press conference every week, and he is not doing what you need to do to say, look, not interested. I'm here at Penn State, love it here. He is not having those type of discussions at his press conference. How do you shut down rumors? Oh, we'll talk about that later. But yeah, he is not doing that. Okay, hold on. Pride is saying, no, I'm talking about when your team won a game. Understand that the Eastern Michigan Eagles have a better record than the Maryland Terrapins this year. Look that up. But those hooligans throw a French bottle. Oh, they mean business. Yeah, it got real out of hand up in there, Pride. It's going to take
crazy before.
Ever be the same. Yeah, that's true. That is very true. Because even with all the great things that Coach Franklin has done for the program since he took it over, it still will never be quite the same at Penn State. They always will have that shadow.
That stain is still there, man. And it seems like that'll never be out of people's imaginations, man.
Yeah, H2, I showed you.
They'll be able to forget right now. You know what I had said earlier, E-Man. Do you remember what I said to you earlier? Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
It messed up college football in general, to be quite honest. And, of course, remember, we still have some of those issues going on here at Michigan, for that matter.
Yeah, a trickle-down effect. It went from Penn State to then you start hearing about Michigan State, then you start hearing about Michigan. People that just was coming out, man. They just was like, we ain't going to sit back and take it anymore. And like you said, it's still kind of ugly here too, man. There's been recent reports of that as well, man, where players was out there picketing and saying they got to make changes. So, yeah, it's really bad, man. People are starting to wake up now saying, and they starting to understand that they have a voice and they speak it up, man. When you have that voice that you didn't think you have, man, that could turn volumes, man.
Right. Absolutely. But yeah, we are getting to that time of year where a lot of the teams in college football are starting to get that week off. that bye week. So that's part of why we're not having some of the key matchups. You know, that usually happens in early November before we start to get to the real nitty gritty them last few weeks. So that's why it's not a lot of good key matchups this week. But we all know the one that I'm ready to talk about. I'm just waiting on you.
I was waiting for you, baby. I just told you. I said, yeah, I know you heard about what I was talking about earlier in the show. So do you think about untold dramas in Division 2?
That I'm not familiar with, H2. Okay, on that one. We got to get the research department on that. I'm not familiar.
Yeah, I would definitely like to know more.
Yep.
All right, man. You know, let's stop beating around the bush, man. You know, we got to let this out now, man. It was like I had to keep it in. I just got to breathe this one on out, man.
Well,
I'm glad you went to that, man. We're talking about the big Michigan rivalry, man. Michigan and Michigan State. They're going to be at state, man. So I don't really think that means much, but how do you feel about this game, and who you think is going to be the victor in this matchup, the big brother matchup?
Little bro, you tried it, little bro. You did. Now, okay, understand, Michigan fan, so much that I got blue blood in my veins. Actually, we all do. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah, he preach on, brother.
You see that set over there? I'm mad right now because I'm looking at that green behind my co-host. We don't do green around here. You know, get off my lawn. You know, get off my lawn. But in this house, Gametime Audible, no, it's blue all day, okay? Understand who needs to win this game more? Obviously, Michigan. All year it's been circled on the calendar. This game and that game against that team down south. You know we don't say them words up in this house. Nope. But anyway, that being said, I'm looking at the matchup realistically, Pride. Realistically, I like Sparty's chances this year. They clearly have the better passing game of the two teams. They have the better overall running back, but of course we have the better stable of running backs. That's right. You better tell him, H2. That's right. But yeah, when all is said and done, I fully expect my team to go down to East Lansing and handle that business because it does appear that Coach Harbaugh has been very focused this year. He got his players saying the right thing.
What did you do? HT, man? HT, man, you clouded.
Shady.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, he got to win that game. Okay, understand. If he does not win that game, it's gonna be a long week on sports talk radio for him and me because that's all they're gonna talk about. Particularly if for some reason we get blown out in that game at East Lansing. Bottom line, the weather ain't supposed to be that bad. It's only an hour away from your school. Sparty had 2 weeks to prepare. You kind of had an extra week because you done had your bye week already. Northwestern was a good little practice round. You got to go down there and handle biz. Understand, like most of the talking heads are saying, when it comes time for state to play, that team down south and us, they probably going to get the doors blown off of them. Because right now, we're looking at the Big Ten, it's pretty much them. Then it's us, Sparty, Iowa to a smaller degree, and then everybody else. So right now, for the sake of the Big Ten, the sake of college football, because when Michigan is good, college football is good. There are certain teams that when they play better, people take more of an interest. Michigan is one of those squads. I would say the Factory is one. USC is one. It's certain schools around the country that most people follow because they always constantly on TV. Michigan is one of those squads. So, yeah, it helps Sparty if they win this game because that helps bring them up a notch. But bottom line is it's a reason why Michigan is favored in this game because they are the ones clearly that need to win it to gain some more prominence. We're trying to recruit people. And usually games like this is where you bring the recruits like, yeah, come check us play. So yeah, it's gonna be some future Sparties in the house, and if they see Michigan blow the doors off their boys, yeah, then when it's time to go get recruited by Michigan later on, it might be a whole different discussion. But if they go to Spartan Stadium and Sparty just run roughshod all over them boys, yeah, you're gonna end up losing some Michigan people to state. So yeah, that's why this is a very big rivalry, not only for the state but for college football. Period.
Hey man, and the crazy part too, my homeboy over there with Michigan State, Tyson Watson. Love me some Tyson Watson. That's a young, talented, up and coming kid, man. But you know, I gotta go with Michigan, man. I even got to score for you, E man. I'm going to say it's going to be a close one, but I feel like it's going to be a little far fetched. I have Michigan 35-24 in this game.
Oh my!
These and
numbers.
I'm looking at it like, man.
I'm saying
how to prove, man. We've been losing to both teams, Michigan State and all the other teams down south, man. We've been losing them for too long, man. And this is his measuring stick because he's in a hot seat if he don't win these games. He know that these games are checked off at the beginning of the year, and I just want him to play like it. I want him to bring the passion that he needs to. I heard something that was said on the game, the warm-up game we played just recently. I mean, don't get it twisted. But they were saying that Michigan back in those days, like a couple years ago, we were going to say they would bring their fastball and they would throw their fastball and they'll constantly throw their fastball. And when you're handling their fastball, then they didn't know how to handle it. They didn't know how to flip their plays or they didn't know how to adjust. And I feel like this team right here has made a lot of good halftime adjustments, and I just feel like they've done a good job, man. I mean, come on now. We had two running backs who had over 100 yards, and they had 2 touchdowns apiece. Those guys, man, they on a mission, man. Yeah, like you said, one of the issues I definitely had is they're not passing the ball more, and I feel like they definitely have a better passing game than Michigan State. But when it comes to defense, man, I have to say Michigan's one of the top teams as far as defense too. So I wouldn't be surprised in that game at all if Michigan win, like I told you, 35-24. I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, see, it's a reason I think Pride why that game is the way it is right now. But let me address it first. 3-3 and 5 overtimes, really H2? Really? Super shady. Okay, basically I got Michigan 27, Michigan State 23. But
weird.
I do believe tonight, and correct me if I'm wrong, Pride, because you're probably watching the game. LeBron is playing this evening. I honestly think he was able to play last night. I think he purposely sat down so that Russell could get a little better acclimated to playing with his teammates. Last night, Russell got off, okay? He then had a triple-double. I think at some point, there will be parts of the season where all of them will be hurt for games at a time, just to let the other people kind of get their licks in. But yeah, I think tonight it's like, okay, let us all play tonight and do what we do. And the Thunder, they are not good. They are not
all. At all.
Them and the Pistons, it's gonna be a long season for the both of them. But yeah, they supposed to be winning like that. They got about 5 future Hall of Famers on that squad between LeBron, Melo, Westbrook, Davis, Dwight Howard. Who am I missing? It's somebody else.
Rondo.
Yeah, another Hall of Fame. Yeah, so at least 6 Hall of Famers on that squad. They supposed to be winning like that. I don't care how old they are.
I don't care if they are in their mid-30s.
Yeah. Good to see you, brother.
You already know, E, man. We talked about like basically the college, but it wasn't really too many heavy hitters. But then we talked about the games that we.
Whoa!
Oh, he's not?
And they still winning like that? Okay, yeah. He definitely will have a triple-double tonight.
Who's the coach? Who's the coach over there, E?
Appreciate it.
With Thunder.
Huh?
Who the coach over there with Thunder?
I don't know. Somebody
don't have to anyway, because he's going after this season.
Appreciate you, bro.
You already know what time it is, E, man. We're going to get into this.
It's not the time you think it is, though. It's time for a commercial. Can we get a commercial? Dang.
Hey, yeah, I'm cool with that.
We kept talking, wouldn't let me get no commercials in.
I got to put some Neo in this drink.
We got to get some commercials in. When we come back, we talking about what, Hugh?
The NFL, the National Football League, baby.
All right, so when we come back, we're doing NFL. Until that time, of course, it's still Gametime Audible. I'm still me. He's still him. If you don't know our names by now, you ain't been watching the show enough, and the hell with you. And you know what it is.
We're not asking for your permission. We're not seeking your approval. We're claiming what's ours in the name of our ancestors. We are their answered prayers. This is more than a movement. This is a revolution. Black innocence. What are yours today?
We back, y'all. Hold on. Y'all got to see this here. OKC's coach is, it doesn't matter who he is. Never heard of him. Everybody on the Lakers is scoring tonight. Hell, I think Jack Nicholson hit a 3 from the logo.
Not the choker.
Crazy. But yeah, that look like it might be the first official blowout of the season for somebody. But yeah, like I said, it's gonna be a long year in OKC. And keep in mind, they got all them draft picks still, I believe. Ready to see who they end up picking next year. Keeping in mind that college basketball season is about a few weeks away itself. You know, I can't wait for that one.
Man, who you telling?
But yeah, before we move on fully to the NFL, we got to talk about something that's kind of in between NFL and NCAA. This week, there was a speculation made by one Carson Palmer in regards to the USC job that, of course, we know is open, and they are looking for people to fill the position even before the season is over. And he threw one Mike Tomlin's name into the mix. Now, understand, I believe that Carson Palmer, being a former USC alum, is basically one of his squad to have a good coach, and he knows Tomlin to be such. But nonetheless, that speculation led to the press conference that was had Monday with Mr. Tomlin when he was asked, in no uncertain terms, is he a candidate for the USC job? he was not happy. He basically told them, and I quote, matter of fact, hold on. Keep going, Hugh. I actually want to play the audio if we can find that. Go ahead, Hugh. Talk for me.
I definitely wasn't really. I heard about speculations about that, but for Carson Palmer to bring it out, man, that's kind of interesting too, man. Because do you think that he's just trying to do that to cause friction with him and the Steelers, or it's not even no beef or no friction there? Because that's kind of interesting to see a former player come out and mention and call out a name that big to come to USC.
Hold on, y'all. Y'all got to hear this one for yourself.
USC possibility on the Dan Patrick Show said you got a wild card like Mike Tomlin if Mike Tomlin wants out. But here's what Mike Tomlin said about what Mike Tomlin wants.
Hey guys, I don't have time for that speculation. I mean, that's a joke to me. I got one of the best jobs in all of professional sport. Why would I have any interest in coaching college football? That'll be the last time today, but moving forward, never say never, but never. Okay. Anybody else got any questions about any college jobs? There's not a booster with a big enough blank check. Thank you. Anybody asking Sean Payton about that? You know, anybody asking Andy Reid about stuff like that?
No, when he looks around at everybody, just over.
So, yeah. And like I said, if you would have seen the facial expressions he was making, he was clearly not happy. Now, understand, there's that underlying tone of what does he really mean by that? Why he throw Sean Payton and all their names in the mix? Well, this morning on First Take, Stephen A. went there with
NFC powerhouse prime time.
Hold on. Whoa. Bottom line is Stephen A. went there. Yeah. I love he called out his white counterpart, and he did not call them out. He just used them as examples, as Stephen A. pointed out. Bottom line, it's a racial thing. Why would the black head coach who has had nothing but winning seasons and all the years he's been at Pittsburgh, has gone to Super Bowls, won a Super Bowl, want to take a step down by taking a college job? Understand, if you're a professional head football coach, taking a job that is a college job is going down. Okay, E-Buck getting fancy. No, not exactly. We'll discuss that in post-production. But nonetheless, yeah, I too would have been offended if I was he. Basically saying, oh, why the black coach got to be the one that want to take the step down to go to USC after I'd have had all the success in the NFL. I can see if he was just basic Coach A. I can see if he's having a season like the Lions is having over there in Pittsburgh. They are not. If they do manage to not win the season, this will be his first losing season as a head football coach in the NFL. Remember, he is the third longest tenured coach in the NFL behind Pete Carroll and that dude.
Coach Belichick.
Correct. And yes, he has not won on the level that Belichick has won. But again, he does have the later claim that Belichick does not. In the last 10 seasons, he has not had a losing record. Not a Bottom line, the argument that Stephen A. made is the fact that for all intents and purposes, he's a Hall of Fame coach today. Why would you have a Hall of Fame coach be disrespected in that way? Because, yeah, I think part of it was the way the reporter asked the question. And second was the fact that it was like real speculation. Tomlin had never came out and said anything about it, but he shut it down. I bet you won't ask him no more.
Absolutely.
I bet you won't ask no more. And like I said, it is a step down to take a college job if you're an NFL coach. It's all the college coaches that want the NFL job. Come on now. Let's be for real.
He'll be taking a pay cut going to college. Come on, man. You think that
now granted, it wouldn't be that big a pay cut. We are talking USC, and the boosters at USC do have the big pockets, okay? They would have to pay for a coach like Tomlin. But like he said, it's a step down. He has one of the best jobs in football. Remember, Pittsburgh Steelers is a proud organization. one that has won several Super Bowls over the years. It ain't just no run by night job. It ain't like coaching for the Lions.
Super Bowl winning culture because he won the Super Bowl for that team.
Now, if he was the Lions head coach, I would feel a little differently. I would say, bro, you better take that job. You ain't getting nowhere here. But for the Steelers, yeah, no. So yeah, I wasn't mad at it.
All right, you ready to go full on NFL now?
All right, let's go, bro. Let's go.
Man, you know, this team right here surprised me at the beginning of the season. I said, okay, this guy lead the New York Jets, go 3-0, but then I still felt like it was something there. It was still a bad taste in my mouth with him, Mr. Sam Darnold, being said about to get into the game. I know that a lot of you guys on here bet. Y'all do sports betting. If you would have told me that this game, that the Panthers will lose to the Giants, what was the score? It was a funky score, 25-3. I would have laughed in your face and said, okay, well, I'm going to take the over on this game, and shame on you for even saying that. What the hell is going on with this team, man? Yeah, I know they got your boy, McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey's not playing. He's injured. But still, to get beat like that by the Giants, man, who's a team who's still trying to get it together, and to be shamed like that and outcoached like that, because Matt Rule just coming to the NFL, and Joe Judge been in the NFL, but he was the prize right there. I didn't know too, at the time until I looked at the game. They said that Joe Judge was one of the guys who they was considering for the Panthers job. But they dug deep and went after Matt Rule.
Mm-hmm.
I know it ain't no rivalry there, but it's like, okay, you did that to get this man who was in college, and now you got a guy who's already a decent coach in the NFL. Need that be as a special team coach, but I mean, he played for the Patriots, Sometimes that's not saying enough when you got the pistol on your team. Anywho, but yeah, man, to get beat like that, man, and to lose all those games straight, man. I already thought that they were a pretender. But where does this leave Carolina, man? Where does this leave the Panthers when Christian McCaffrey come back?
Bottom line, Hugh, I think you're making much ado about nothing as far as this game goes. Part of this is any given Sunday, and it was that. Part of this was Sam Darnold made a couple bad decisions. Remember, he's still a young quarterback. He's learning a new system. It's bound to happen that he's going to have a couple games that stinkers. That's just how Sam Darnold is. He's been that way.
Lost 3 straight. That ain't a couple.
No, I think your issue is not so much that they've lost, it's the way they lost. Remember, McCaffrey is a huge part of that team. They are not quite the same team without him. Sam Darnold is definitely an upgrade from the quarterback, not necessarily upgrade from the quarterback that was Cam, but an upgrade from what they had last year. But bottom line is Sam Darnold, he's a gunslinger. He is Brett Favre with not quite the talent. That is why he will have some games like this along the way, especially if we don't have that stopgap that is McCaffrey. Okay, Pride still checking in with the B-ball. Down the Pelican Stadium is empty. I've seen more people at the YMCA for pickup games. Well, when that time comes and we get closer to the trade deadline, I definitely see one name that will probably be on the block. And I think we all know who it is.
I can really care less if that dude go to another team and stay there.
Thank you, friend. Appreciate you. Yeah, bottom line is it's going to be a long year for the Pelicans, too. Let's be honest. Because right now, their offense is the little skinny dude and the big dude. And if both of them ain't playing well at the same time, it's going to be a lot of blowouts over there.
And the big dude be so mediocre at times.
And let me also mention the fact that, if they are there in the Pelican Stadium, New Orleans is still kind of going through some things, Brad. That might be also another reason why the stadium ain't quite as full as it could.
With the hurricanes and everything.
It's people just now getting electricity after about a month. So there's that, too.
All right, man. We on to the next game, man. Do you think the Kansas City Chiefs have a comeback in them, or people are just, stretching this too far and saying, oh man, they're getting beat like this? We're used to seeing them losing, having a losing record this year or any other year. Or do you think it's really some concerns in that team and that organization?
Kansas City got problems, yo. Problem one, their defense is trash. It's trash. Bottom line, if you got a halfway decent offense, you can ride roughshod over Kansas City. You know the plan, same plan has been for years. Troll the ball, run the ball, take time off the clock so Mahomes can't get on there and do Mahomes type things. Last couple years, that didn't work. This year, it's working like a mug. Because one, the teams they've been playing, they have done just that, particularly when you talk about teams like the Chargers and the Titans that did a very effective job of controlling the time of possession. But then also, Mahomes is trying to do too much on his end. Problem two, he's trying to perform miracles. Yeah, it was all cute when he would sometimes do the little sidearm pass or the behind the back or the pass with the left hand. He's doing stuff like that every game now. And unlike a couple years before, this year, that stuff ain't working no more. People looking for that stuff. They're ready for it. It don't take people by surprise no more. There is no evolution with Patrick Mahomes at this point. And it's bad because when you pay that dude $450 million, you expect results. Last year, you got results. This year, not so much.
A lot of that $50 million have to do with it too, man. They lost a few players too, like Sammy Watkins, Rashawn Breeland. They lost some guys on both ends of the ball that's kind of hurting them. And there's going to be more people who they're not going to be able to afford to pay when it comes to making the type of money or getting that deal made for him unless he take a pay cut. I'm not sure if he's going to do that. So, yeah, that might lead to more problems.
Yep. Thank you to all the people showing me love here on Bigo. Missy DeLissy and Fierce One and Felicia. Shout out to you guys. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, right. 100%.
And understand another thing is that division is a lot better than we thought it would be too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Even Denver played decent at times.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised, actually, speaking of that division, that the Raiders are still playing as well as they played after getting rid of the racist pieces garbage.
Aren't they number one in the division now?
Indeed.
Yeah. You already know we got to talk about this game right here, man. We talked about this game as I think we talked about this as the game of the week, and it ended up being not even close to being a game of the week. This game actually ended up being an afterthought, man. But big ups to the Cincinnati Bengals, though, man. Oh, man, they went into Baltimore and they put a thrashing on them boys, man. That's probably one of them any given Sunday games, man. And I understand sometimes you have to put more than I should in some of these games, but no, we're not talking about just me putting anything in a game. I'm talking about these dudes not only beat them as bad as they did, but they went to Baltimore and did this.
Who would have thought?
In the mouth.
We had said weeks ago that this division was probably going to be the toughest division in football this year. But who would have thought out of all the teams in that division that will be getting off, it would be the Cincinnati Bengals that would be the main one. They beat the out the Ravens. Yes, they did. Joe Cool, the real deal.
I've never really seen them get humiliated like that, neither at home. So that was really a shocker, man. And to see that
team would be if they still had AJ Green too.
Man.
Did you not, H2? Did you? I wish you would have told me so I could have won some money, man.
Yeah, that just let you know, man. That team, man, they basically lost a game from a field goal, man. They lost a few critical games, but I haven't seen Cincinnati get blown out this year neither. They've been competing. They got their young defense. They did really good in the draft. Mixon's starting to become himself, man. He's one of the key running backs. Man, CJ, what's his name? Adozu or the tight end? He's a beast. Man, it's like they finding pieces everywhere, man, and everybody's gelling over there in Cincinnati, man. But the main piece of the puzzle is Joe Burrow, man. We seen some growth last year, man, and to see this year one and year two, because you always know they always talk about the sophomore slump, but damn, he basically looking like a veteran in the second year. Man, he probably still have his growing pains because this is his second year, but to see how they're competing, they look really damn good, man. I want to see what's gonna happen the rest of the season. I'm definitely impressed. I'm sold on the Bengals.
I bet you do, H2. I bet you do. But yeah, we'll see where it goes. Remember, they still got to play the Ravens again, Steelers again, Baltimore again. They gonna have some tough games still. It's still a young season as far as they are concerned. But yeah, I'm glad that Joe Burrow has at least come back from that injury and played well. Remember, he is still kind of recovering from that. So we getting this type of play from Joe Burrow, despite not being 100%. It's kind of impressive.
We're gonna talk about the surprising game, man. We talked about this game, and we discussed this a little bit. So I know that we're gonna talk about it a little more. But the Bucks and the Bears, man, I didn't think it was gonna be a laugher. I definitely thought it was gonna be a little bit more competitive than what it was, man. But it was really a game where I feel like now, man, they got to do better by protecting this young man because it seems like it's not just him holding on to the ball. It seems like he just threw him to the wolves, man. And I'm hoping he get better protection, man. And I know he will grow, get better at making some of the adjustments. But it was some growing pains for him in that game. But at the same time, where it's bad, there's good, man. Big up to Tom Brady, man, having 600 touchdown passes, the most in league history, man. So, yeah, man, how did you feel about that game outcome, man?
The game itself was a stinker. Bottom line, the Bears have probably the worst offensive line I've seen in years. And that's saying something because there's some stinky ones out there now. But yeah, all that being said, we start to really understand why they did not want to play this young man early on. It's not because he don't have the talent. Clearly he does. It's not because he don't understand the offense. He does seem to have a good grasp on it. Bottom line is when you say hike and you look up at 5 people in your face, it's only so much you're going to be able to process as a rookie quarterback. So, yeah, at some point, they might actually want to put Glenn in the end for a little bit and let him learn a little more because at this point, I don't think it matters who the quarterback of the Bears is with the way they are set up offensively. Now, defensively, they're still a decent team, but bottom line, they came up against the GOAT, and the GOAT got more weapons than the Bible's got Psalms. So they're going to score. But that's not even the best thing that happened with Tom Brady. There were 2 things that happened. And it's funny that we talked about it the other day, and then it happened after the fact. Hopefully you are familiar. But thing 1, during the game, there was a young fan
that was awesome.
Who had a basically a poster board saying, Tom Brady helped me survive cancer. And Tom saw that, and he went to the young fan and gave him a signed autograph hat. And the kid just basically bawled his eyes out. But apparently, after the game, he reached out to the family and offered them some assistance with the bills as well. Tom Brady is not only just the GOAT of the NFL, he is a GOAT of a human being for doing that. But that was not the end of Mr. Brady's kindness in that game. At one point, the 600 touchdown ball that was caught by Evans and given to a fan, stupid, basically was retrieved by the Buccaneers, and the fan was given at that time a Tom Brady signed jersey. Understand, me and Hugh had a discussion about it. He's like, man, that's all he got. He should have got more than me. But do you know what happened after that, Hugh?
No, sir.
Not only did he get the signed Tom Brady jersey, but he also got a signed Michael Evans jersey, a signed football by the team, season tickets for the rest of this season and next season, and a potential pass to the Super Bowl if the Buccaneers make it to the Super Bowl. Now, do you think,
man? You said I was being greedy when I said I wanted 2 games. This guy getting 2 seasons.
How you like that? Now take it back. Take it back what you said about Brady. Take it back.
Yeah, man, I probably would have shut my mouth, man, and just been kind and gave up that ball because they were even more kind, man. Big up to that organization for doing that, man. That's gold-like stuff, man. Not just from time, but just that organization, man. That's amazing. I didn't even know.
Smurf that jersey, son. Smurf all that noise, son. Keep the ball. He could buy all that stuff himself and then some. No. See, here's what I'm thinking, Pride. Being a person who is a football fan, but a business-minded person. Yeah, that Evans jersey, I'm putting it in the frame and I'm selling that bad boy, okay? Second thing, that Tom Brady jersey, yeah, we got to keep that for a while. That's going to be worth a lot of money. Then the season tickets, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and finish out the season. And them seats next year, they ain't going to be thinking about me. I'm selling them tickets, yo. These are Tom Brady seats. These are ones such and such, yeah, that's going to get you a nice little penny off eBay. And if I get that Super Bowl pass to go out to SoFi Stadium, have you guys seen SoFi Stadium, by the way? You can go and look at the inside of that stadium. It is incredible. My cousin actually went to that game, which we'll talk about in a minute. But yeah, that's when I seen the inside of that stadium and did a little further research. That is probably the best stadium I have seen made in the history of the United States. It's a reason why it's $2 billion plus that stadium. It looks every bit of that, Hugh. I almost want to go there just to go check it out in person.
They got clubs and halls and stuff. It's like a recreation center. It's like you don't have to leave. You can, after the game, you can take a shower, put on your clothes, you can party there. It's so much activity there, man. I've never seen nothing that impressive.
The reason why I say that ball ain't gonna be quite as much, and again, that kind of goes back to that whole situation with Miggy this year here in Detroit. I think that ball becomes less because Brady ain't done. At 44, he playing better than he did at 34. He might do another 2 or 3 seasons. He might break the all-time record, and imagine how much that ball would be worth. And that would make that other ball less, of course. But no, the thing that will be probably worth the more money when all is said and done is the sign ball that he got from the Buccaneers. Remember, I said everybody signed that ball. Think about the names that's on that ball if everybody signed it. Ndamukong Suh, Antonio Brown, Brady, Evans. We talk about probably about potential 8 or 9 Hall of Famers on that squad right now. That ball gonna be worth even more money than that Brady ball.
Yeah, because you got everybody putting a piece of the pie in there, man. But you know what hurt my feelings in that game? We're going to get back to the bad side of that game, too, man. I don't know if you saw it. Yeah, I'm seeing the picture if you did, man. That broke my man's spirits, man. And, you know, I don't really too much care for Justin Fields because he's from that food down south, you know, and played a Big Ten. But at the same time, man, he was on the sideline, man, and he was hurt, man. He just basically didn't know what to do, man. This man was on the sideline in tears, man. He just felt like the pressure was really getting to him, man. And that definitely made me feel bad because it's like Nagy didn't even have nothing to really protect him with, man. And I feel like even in the draft, I feel like they did enough to get behind him, man, to basically keep this man safe. And these guys are professionals, man, and they still let people get up in his face like that, man. He got sacked so many times, sacked fumbles, and he got hurt real bad a few times on those plays, man. And I just feel like, yeah, man, that offensive line has to be one of the worst, and that's saying something, man. But we, Detroit Lions fans.
True that. But bottom line, that's what you signed up for, kid. Good luck. Okay,
Yes,
the signed ball will be more if they guys who signed it became absolutely. That's my point. That's my point.
I believe they will.
There are several people on that team that will probably be Hall of Fame, especially if they go mess around and win another Super Bowl this year.
Avonte David, Devin White, man, they got a lot of talent over there, man. Then a guy who's definitely going to be in the Hall of Fame, we didn't even talk about it yet because he's been injured. Richard Sherman, too.
Yeah, let's not forget about that guy. That's another one. Remember that one game when he had like 9 sacks and 6 completions or something like that and 1 total passing yard? Yes, I do remember that game. Like I said, the whole thing is, as we talk about this next team, which I hope is the team I'm ready to talk about, that's probably one of the only possibilities that we have the rest of the year to win a game.
All right, man. When you got the good, here comes the bad, man. We're gonna talk about the Matthew Stafford Bowl, man. I was intrigued with that game because at first, man, just like always, the Lions came out and they came out playing with pride, man. You know, that was no pun intended, P. But those guys went out there, man, and they played a hell of a game, man. But at the end, they still made mistakes, and I feel like when you put the ball in Jared Goff's hands, we found out this in that Super Bowl all the way till this day, even last year in the playoffs with the Rams, he find a way to lose. Close game with no cigar, man. I seen the sound checks and I watched the Inside the NFL. Big ups for Steele, regardless of the fact Matthew Stafford's a homer, man. He loved us, man. We're here, and he gave us all the respect in the world. But at the same time, I know he wanted to take our heads off, and that he did. How do you feel about the result of that game? And do that get you even closer to thinking that we might go on for the team this season?
First of all, Hugh, you are not giving the Detroit Lions coaching staff enough credit for this game. There was no way we were supposed to be anywhere close to winning that game. The only reason that we were is because the coaching staff, particularly the man calling the shots, one Dave Campbell, that dude got pelotas grandes, interpretation, big balls, big, huge balls, okay? Some of the plays that he called in that game, some of the trickery he went with, I've never seen such a thing in a professional football game, ever. He literally went out there saying, we're going to pull everything we got in the playbook and do everything in our power to win this bit. He was not going there to just keep it close. He was not going there just to not get embarrassed. He tried to win that bit. And if he would have had some better talent, he very well could have won that game. We was basically a couple golf passes and a decent receiver away from winning that contest, okay? The defense did the best that they could considering what they had. Bottom line, Cooper Kupp is Cooper Kupp. He's going to get off like that against a lot of teams this year. Let's be honest.
I seen a weakness over there, man, with the Rams too. I definitely seen a weakness that I never thought that I'd see before. But then when I thought about it, I looked back at that game when they played the Cardinals, man. If you're a half decent running back and you have versatility and you can run and you catch out the backfield, there is a problem, man, because Andre Swift is the truth, man. He is what we thought he was advertised to be when he was coming out of school. And we've seen that, man. But I've never seen the guy run the ball down the Rams' throat like that. Not only did he run the ball down their throat, but he caught some critical passes too, man. So, yeah, I definitely feel like they're going to have to strengthen that part up on the defense, man. I know they got it on lock on the corners, man, but they gave up some big plays too. But I just feel like in that game, those boys came to play, man, and DeAndre Swift showed us where he's going to be.
I mean, the thing is, the Lions just don't have the firepower to win most of these games, okay? It ain't a lack of effort. Clearly, we see that. They have been virtually in every game they have played this year, okay? With the exception of that Cincinnati game. That got ugly. But then in every other game they have played, they had a chance to win that game in the fourth quarter. Based on that alone, we got to figure that at some point, probably this week even, that they will win one of these games. I do not see them going 0-17. I do, however, see them having, if not the worst record in the league, the second worst. And unfortunately, from what I'm looking at in college football, I don't see them having anything to pick that's going to be franchise changing. So we could very well be like this for years, folks. But nonetheless, you got to give them credit. They did come to play. I was proud of them boys. I really was. Because I really thought that game was going to be the beginning of the true end. Much credit to Coach Campbell for that. How many more losses before this team starts feeling the 0-17 and starting giving up? That, my friends, is the question of the day. Considering their head coach right now, I don't think they get to that point. I think even if they get down about 0-14, he still will have them believing that they can win. Bottom line is, if we win more than 3 games, it would be a miracle this season, okay? Because not only do we have a bad team with bad personnel, but the person that we do got getting hurt by the minute. They say Taylor Decker might not come back at all this season. Our starting center out for the season. 2 of our starting receivers, well, what we call receivers, out for the season. Starting defensive back out for the season. Starting linebacker on somebody else's squad. I mean, it's looking real bad for us, okay? I ain't going to lie. But if is there any chance we could beat a team, I think this week, the Eagles here at home, it could happen. I strongly disagree about them trying harder if they remain winless after a few more weeks. But I do agree that they should get lucky and beat somebody. Like I said, Pride, I do believe this is going to be the week. Will I bet on it? Yeah. I think I'm going to bet on them to win this week. Because if we don't win this week, yeah, it's going to get real ugly.
Anything's possible. Yeah. All right, man.
Look right now.
We just
the way the Eagles look right now, I can see it.
Yeah. They're not really impressing me and turning heads.
Yeah, y'all look real bad, but trust me, it's going to happen. Maybe not this week. Yeah, agreed. All right, go ahead, Hugh.
Yeah, man, this game right here was a stinker. We talked about this one, and it just makes me think about even more how stupid the Niners are, man. And I'm not even trying to be arrogant or modest about this. I'm just saying it's been facts. The Colts versus 49ers game, it was raining. It was kind of reminding you of the game when
Stop. You're not about to do this. That game is a throwaway game. Every year in the NFL, you got about 5 to 8 throwaway games. Primary reason, the weather. Have you seen the weather in California the last few days?
It's been just bad, man.
That's not weather for anything, any sport, period. They should not have even played that game, Hugh. That's how bad the weather was there.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. It was definitely the stinker of the week.
If it would have been 3-3, I wouldn't have been surprised. I'm not blaming either team for that. I'm not judging any team's performance for that. When weather is like that, it throws away everything that you're going to do in the playbook. You basically try to survive that game without having too many injuries. It ain't even discussing as far as I'm concerned. The weather one, period.
I want to get to the punchline. You stretched it a little further than what I thought, but do you think that they should have traded Jimmy Garoppolo when they had a chance?
Yep, I do, because we know he's not the future of that franchise, and he's not going to be in the backup.
Do you think he was going to be more than a first-round draft pick?
Nope, they should have got no first-round draft pick for him. They didn't get him for a first-round draft pick. They should get him for what? They got him for a second round.
My point exactly. I want to talk about some of the key matchups this week, man. One of them surprisingly coming on Thursday. Thursday been having some really good games as of late. I don't know how great it's going to be because, we had a result now with COVID because, like you said, man, regardless of everything that's going on in our world, man, our world is different. Our world has changed, man, because of this. And because of COVID, my man's is out the game now, Devontae Adams, man. That's going to make it a really hard blow for them, man. They're going to Cardinals.
No. It gets worse because Lazario is also out because of COVID.
Yeah.
So that's the top 2 receivers on that squad. But if any team could get away with it, it's the Packers. You know why? Because like Stephen A. said, he's a bad man. Aaron Rodgers, for years, have been making lesser receivers and tight ends and running backs look good. I don't think there's going to be any exception. I'm predicting the upset in this game. I think they're going to beat the Cardinals.
I was just about to ask you that. You think he definitely have a chance in this game against that defense? Oh, I heard too, J.J. Watt out.
Well, that evens things up a little bit, though.
Definitely take away a little bit of the blow. All right, man. Here go a revenge game, man, for you, E-Man. And these are these trap games we be talking about too, man. Buccaneers going to New Orleans, man. How do you feel about that game?
Again, the team was what?
Huh?
I didn't hear you. What was the teams?
Buccaneers and the New Orleans Saints.
Well, this is a very key game for the Saints. We still don't really know what we got yet there in New Orleans. Some games Jameis plays good. Some games not so much. The Monday Night Football game, they did enough to win, obviously, but it wasn't nothing that I would light the world on fire about. But right now, the Buccaneers is the team outside of the Cardinals to look out for. So if the Saints are going to prove they are worthy and are going to make it to that next level that gets them to the playoffs, they're going to have to beat these guys. And they're going to have to beat them convincingly. And right now, Tampa Bay is operating and not even on full. Because remember, probably the best and favorite target of one Tom Brady is not even playing right now. That being the big Gronkster. But despite him, they got so many weapons on that doggone offense, it don't even matter. It wouldn't surprise me if Tom Brady actually does go out and set the record for most touchdowns in a season at the age of 44. Imagine that. And then, worst case scenario, they actually do got a decent running game that they don't even go to enough.
Yeah, I agree.
Tom trying to keep everybody happy by getting everybody the ball, but push come to shove, they just go ahead and give it to Fournette, who's looking real good this season. And Jones coming in, he'll probably could run up 200 yards.
Speaking of that too, E-Man, I don't know if you was aware, man, it was a trade today in the NFL. Guess who reunited with their former team?
Who might that be?
Mark Ingram is going to be back with Alvin Kamara pretty soon.
Interesting. Very interesting. If they could get half of what they got out of Mark before, or if they at least get a Baltimore Ravens version of Mark Ingram, yeah, that could make that offense a whole new ball game. Because Kamara looked real good Monday night, to be honest with you.
He do, man. Always. I never see no really bad games from him.
It is rare.
How do you feel about the division rivalry, man? The Browns and the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Well, that game is one of the big rivalry games, as you know. I go back to a couple years ago when they had the incident with one Myles Garrett and that fool Randolph and how all that went about. Now, remember, right now the Browns is kind of shaky on Baker. They say he may or may not play this week. But based on what I see from Case Keenum, I don't think it matters. Case ain't Baker Mayfield arm talent-wise, but in terms of decision-making and whatnot, it's about the same. And Cleveland got their share of weapons too. So that being said, it should be a competitive game. I think Pittsburgh will be more fired up from what happened with their coach. So there's that. Now, granted, they are without their number one receiver, Mr. Schuster. But they still got enough weapons to keep it interesting over there. And then, of course, they go get a healthy dose of Harris. I'm pretty sure whatever the weather is like this weekend may play a role in what happens there as well. But, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that game. I can't really pick a winner at this point. I can see it going either way.
Yeah, I believe a lot of the guys on the Cleveland Browns need to step up too, man. And like you said, it's sad to me, man, because I started to have a little belief in Baker, and I'm just feeling like, man, when it comes, like you said, he can win you some good games, but when it comes to being that guy, it just don't seem like he's putting that stamp of approval over there for me right now with, Cleveland. But yeah, I definitely feel like it's kind of rough for them right now, man. We don't really know what's going to happen if Kareem Hunt's going to play. We know Nick Chubb's going to be out. And that's going to be part of the issue. But that kind of make it an even playing field, man. Defensively, I feel like Cleveland got a little bit of an advantage, but the weapons are kind of close. But at the same time, the issue with the Browns field is because you got a Jarvis Landry who's banged up, and Odell just don't seem like it was a perfect fit in the first place. It was a good flashy name, but it wasn't a fit. So. Yeah, I definitely believe that's going to be a good one, man. It's going to be in Cleveland, but at the same time, man, I definitely won't be surprised to see a Steelers upset.
True. I agree. Okay, hold on. I'm I'm doing something here. Here we go. Okay, people. When we come back in 2 weeks, we're gonna have a little discussion about this right here, and just get everybody time to do their little homework. Okay. There's a new sport that is being very popularized to the point where they are even considering putting it in the next Olympics. And I want you guys to check it out. Hold on. Where that? Okay, give me a second. I'm about to post the link now. All right. We're going to talk about this one when we come back in a couple weeks. It is called balloon. The name of the sport is balloon. Yeah, even my co-host is intrigued. You might want to check it out too. But yeah, I'm going to talk about when we come back why balloon may be the very sport that saves sports, period. It is just that deep and involved. So yeah, y'all check that out. And when we come back in a couple weeks, we're going to talk balloon. Okay, Hugh, here it is. We are at 9:37. First of all, we need an update from the game. The World Series, who we got going right now? What's the ending? What we got?
Jesus, you was right, E. Don't look like the Braves gonna be on 2-0 on this one tonight. That was a good position, man. I hope you betted on that one. Right now, it's in the top of the fifth, and Astros are cruising 5-1.
Not a surprise. Like I said, I definitely see us go. No. Not 99 Luft balloons and not 200 balloons by Prince. Balloon. Look at it. Check it out. It's a very, very involved sport, but yet not at the same time. It's brilliant. I think it's brilliant. I will explain why when we come back in a couple weeks. But in terms of this week in the NFL, I think what happens this week will definitely determine what happens at the trade deadline. Since we won't be on next week to talk about it, let me throw that in the mix before we head out. The trade deadline looks very intriguing, people. Few reasons. One, quarterback. A lot of people not happy with what's going on in their quarterback room right now. Lions just one of them. There are quarterbacks out there that are available. Of course, we all know about the Cam Newton situation. He's vaccinated now. He still has the talent. I don't see why nobody has picked him up already. You got teams like the Redskins struggling with quarterback play. You got teams like the Jets that have the injured quarterback. Carolina is kind of iffy at this point. Houston could use whatever quarterback it could get. Miami is still kind of up in the air with Tua. It goes on and on. Hell, you could argue that the Bears might need somebody to step in for a minute. So that being said, that's going to be key. What is going to happen with Deshaun Watson? That is also going to be something to talk about. They're not coming with no kind of money. Exactly. For Cam, I agree. And of course, like I said, there's been a lot of key injuries these last couple weeks. So I do believe that's why we are going to see some movement. You know, last year, as I recall, wasn't much going on with the trade deadline in the NFL. This year, I think that's short. So remember, we got a 17-game season. So it's still like 9 more games to play. You need some fillers here. I personally think that if the Lions could find anything at receiver, you trade one of them second round or third round picks that you got extra, and you get you a receiver in that room because they desperately need one. They got some pieces of receiver, but no, they need an actual receiver. So they could find somebody that's like a 2 or 3 on something. Hell, I would definitely talk to Pittsburgh, for example. I wouldn't mind seeing Washington or somebody like that go for a second round pick, bring him here, let him be
awesome, man. Sometimes he look like the number 1 receiver over there, Washington, man.
Right. I wouldn't mind us seeing somebody like a Scotty Miller from the Buccaneers. Yeah.
Yeah, that guy got speed.
Here he is with the cheerleaders again. Hell, I think our cheerleaders are subpar. We need some draft picks for them. Have you seen cheerleaders? They ain't all that.
How do you feel about Titans and Colts game? Do you think that could be a trap game right there that's coming up this week? Because you know how good the Titans can play sometimes, and then you know how bad they can play. Yeah, you know, I know they didn't have AJ Green and not AJ Green, AJ Brown, and they didn't have Julio Jones, but at the same time, hell, they still lost to the Jets.
But remember, the Colts, they were out YT yet again. That dude ain't been healthy for years now. And they run at that time. So all that being said, yeah, it don't matter. He hurt. Bottom line is that's a game I could see the Titans blowing them out, and I could see the Titans barely beating them. But I still say they win either way. With the Lions rebuilding and with a first-time coach, I think the picks are more important for the future versus trading to bring in a good or decent player. Well, here's the thing, Pride, and I really didn't want to go a little later in the season. I am under the school of thought that based on what I'm seeing in college football, if we are to get the number 1 or number 2 pick, we need to trade it, period. Do we need a quarterback? Hell yeah. But we also need some receivers, second tight end, damn near a whole new defense. Hell, we could probably use another kicker. We need picks, period.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be watching football.
It does not matter if we trade a second round or third round pick for next year's draft. We're not going to be relevant no time soon, Pride, is where I'm sitting. So I say we trade that number 1 pick for other number 1 picks, for other picks later on in the draft. We leverage that boy for whatever we can get. Because there's going to be somebody stupid enough to believe that some of these quarterbacks coming out in this year's draft is the next coming, and they are going to be a franchise quarterback. But I don't trust us enough to develop a manufactured quarterback. We need a sure thing at quarterback for us to be good. They are
not necessarily because both times some of these contracts are not even really as heavy as you think they are. Most of them are 2 years and then they're away. When you get a chance, look at spotrack.com and you can see a lot of the contracts. And when you see it, they show the guaranteed money on it, how many years they're really worth. So, yeah, most of the NBA contracts are guaranteed. And we talked about how, you know, basketball is guaranteed. NFL usually is a 2-year void. So, yeah, no, not necessarily. Not like you think it would be.
Bottom line is I say we stuck with golf at least to the end of next year. You bring in somebody in maybe that 3rd or 4th round that's left out of whatever the pickings is in college football. Then you bring in some free agent, let them fight it out for backup. Let golf start next year. He'll have some better weapons because that's pretty much what we'll draft. And then after that, we go about 8 games in. We be
about that too.
Then you go ahead and sit down golf, start the new kid, and then in the following year you draft your quarterback and have them two battle it out to see who's going to be the franchise. And then, of course, yes, they can buy him out, and I do believe that's what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Surprise me after this season they don't do it. At this point, what do we have to lose?
Yes, sir.
Because in the world, that's what the plan was all along for Matthew. Remember, we was gonna probably have him do one more year, and then we was gonna draft the quarterback and probably buy him out. So, what's the difference?
Yeah, so they at least trying to see what they have at this man right now before they ship him off.
Thanks, Wolf.
Got one last thing for you, man. I know this gonna probably bring us to the end of the show, man. I don't know if you knew that, but I saw this. I said, yeah, I want to definitely talk about this, man. You probably like it or you don't like it, but I believe there's so many games now in this season. You're saying now NFL is letting teams interview candidates during the final 2 weeks of the regular season. How does that make you feel?
Repeat that again, sir.
NFL is letting teams interview candidates during the final 2 weeks of the season.
I'm not surprised by that. I'm not having no problem with that. Bottom line is it's going to be a few coaches. They up out of there. I already know Chicago going to be looking for a new coach, period.
Yeah. Matt Nagy definitely ain't the answer. He came off strong at first, man, and then it seemed like he just fell, man. I think it was a good pick for him, and I think that was more of a pressure pick and to get in the quarterback, man, and moving on from Mitchell Trubisky. But at the same time, if you can't protect the quarterback, that's where the problems lie. And that's going to be an issue until that gets fixed. And I don't think Matt Nagy can be there long enough to actually take care of it.
Right, then you got obviously the Raiders gonna need a new coach. I don't think the interim coach is gonna get that job. You got Denver that might be looking for a new coach. The Jets, they might be all right this year. I mean, bottom line, whatever goes on with the Jets or the Lions, I don't think either one of those coaches should lose their job, even if they don't win nothing the rest of the year.
Definitely Robert Saleh, man.
I mean, Dave Campbell, he ain't got much to work with. It's not fair. And he at least has made this team competitive despite what we got. So unless something really crazy happens these next few weeks, even if we don't win a game this year, I still say Dave Campbell should come back for at least one more season.
And at the same time, I like the fact that Drew Brees is talking about, and a lot of the guys, Drew Brees, Tony Dungy, and all the guys who were on Football Night in America, they always bring up the fact that how hard they're playing and how they're competing.
I will also say that Monday, when I watched the game, I watched it with Peyton and Eli. That is a very good concept, having the two of them break down the game. I really would like for the NBA to find some similar thing to do with basketball and have a couple people break down the game as it happens. Not like any time, but like as it happens. It would have to be the right couple people, but I really think that would make for more interesting television viewing. I have no idea, sir.
Yeah, because I definitely like that fact too, because I definitely want more coaches to get their due share, and becoming a head coach, man. Like we always talk about my boy, man. I definitely want him to get his props, man. Get him a job, man.
I mean, bottom line, if that dude don't get no job after this year, yeah, he basically saying that about Dave Campbell. As he strips naked and high on drugs and bother people fat. And the thing is, as fired up as that dude get about certain things, would it surprise you if he was on something? It wouldn't. I mean, look at that dude. That dude looked like he could be the new Intercontinental Champion in WWE. You seen the arms on Dave Campbell?
Yeah.
That yoke, son.
Dude look like he can go out there and play right now. They definitely need him.
But yeah, all that being said, y'all, I think I'm about ready to call it a show. What about you, Hugh?
Yes, sir. That was the last one for me, man. Definitely. I know we about to wrap it up, man. I'm gonna just hit them off with we not gonna definitely be on for the next couple of weeks, but y'all can hit me up on that Pure to the Game website, man, or the blog. Y'all know I'm gonna be there with all the news, man. Whatever's going on, trade deadline rumors, or whatever's gonna happen in the NBA. NFL, hell, if I can find something decent in the NHL, man, y'all will definitely see it first on my page, man. So check me out here to the game. And for the people who are already on there, I appreciate y'all love and support.
And then before we go, please allow me to do this for my brother H2. Hold on. Please join the one and only Helena Hologram for a special 2-day celebration of the 1-year anniversary of her show, Hey Bitches Live. In part 1 of the celebration, on November 1st, join H2 at Hey Bitches Live at her new start time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. She will bring back some of our favorite guests from seasons 1 and 2. And later that night, she will be joined by members of the Nighthawk Network to celebrate as well. On November 2nd, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Helena will perform as part of a special Zoom concert featuring special tributes to you, her loyal fans. This is the 1-year celebration of Hey Bitches Live, November 1st and 2nd, at the new start time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. See you there. Hey Bitches Live. Now we have something to talk about. So yes, my friends, please join us in celebrating H2 next Monday, the 1-year anniversary of Hey Bitches Live. Looking forward to it. Be part of the broadcast myself. So shout out to you, H2. Many more shows, my friend.
You know, I'll definitely be there.
For sure, for sure. But that being said, y'all, we about to get up out of here, call it a night. Thank you guys for being a part of the show. Appreciate you, our loyal viewers and listeners. Special shout out to H2 and Pride for all their input this evening, and for you, Felicia, as well. Okay, yeah. Before we go, Hugh, you know, because Pride looked out for us, we gotta look out for him a little bit. What you got, man? What you got for WWE, bro?
Oh, anything on my behalf?
Yeah, what you got?
Bank, you know, funny man. Don't shoot me, E, man. They made me been looking at AEW lately, man. I definitely like where they're going right now, man. And I'm hearing more guys supposed to be coming, man. They've been keeping them low key, but I've been hearing the Braun Strowman and my man's coming over there pretty soon too. What was the guy's name? The Fiend. So Bray Wyatt and if all them guys come over, man, it's definitely giving WWE some problems, man. But I definitely do like what's going on with the Tribal Chief and Brock, man. I definitely like the fact that they didn't like bring him in to just kind of run over my man Roman Reigns. Right now, him as a heel is the best thing that could have happened to WWE right now, man. And I do like the Usos as a heel. It's not as his lackeys. I'd rather like them to be as one and united. I don't like them being kind of lackey figures to him, but I definitely do like that story, but I definitely like that heat that went on with the ladies, man. Backstage, a lot of people don't know that heat got real when Charlotte Flair and the man, they really got into it because it wasn't really scripted what was going to happen. They supposed to just gave each other the belts, but Charlotte just threw the belt on the ground, and then that's when it got to an altercation, man. At first, it was all kind of looking like it was scripted, but it got loud and they got a little physical in the back room, man, in the backstage area. So, yeah, that was one of the more things that was intriguing to me.
If it wasn't for that, last Friday would have been pretty much trash.
Yeah.
The show was good. That ending was good. In the middle, particularly the way they tried to introduce the new lineup to the show, a lot of which I'm not really trying to see.
Not at all.
It's like we got basically a mixture of what they didn't want at Raw and some of the trash from NXT. I'm not liking it. I'm not liking it, my friends.
You better start watching that other promotion.
That whole Hit Squad thing, that character group of people, I'm really not feeling that. It come off damn near as extra racist even. I really didn't like that. I was so not impressed with that.
But then one thing X-Pac said that was interesting, I know Pride definitely probably was up on it. He was talking about NXT and some of the stuff that was going on in the WWE. One of his issues being that he feel like a 60-year-old man trying to relate to an 18 and younger crowd, it wasn't really going to hit nowadays in the future of WWE, and they need to, shift it, and change the times, man. They need to go with the times going with Stephanie and, Triple H. But right now, we know he's going through his own issues, so we're going to have to see how that goes because I think Shane left it.
I must admit, I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos lately. Old WWE back in the era.
Man, I would like that, bro.
The Rock and the like. They should bring Glow Ladies of Wrestling back. I agree. I found it very entertaining late at night. But yeah, even they bad shows come off 10 times better than some of the stuff they've been putting on lately. I feel bad for the people that watch Friday Night SmackDown. I'm kind of glad that the World Series that kind of interrupted regular network showing of SmackDown of late. I agree with E about Hit Row, borderline cooler. It really is, Pride. It's like a bad episode of Empire when they come on, and then the whole rapid intro, and they are some busters that Little Baby could wrap circles around. Now, outside of who is it, Money Dollars or whatever the big dude name is. The rest of them, they just seem like basic wrestler A and B. And I don't know what the girls. I haven't seen her wrestle, so I don't know if she can. If she's just a hype person, I don't know what her role is in it, but it is like a bunch of garbage to me, man. I wasn't feeling it. You know, at least when you get the Plastic Cup Boys, I mean, the Street Profits, at least they got actual wrestling ability.
Yeah.
I love
though, man. Street Profits.
But yeah, they kind of coonish too. Glow was putting women in such a bad light, and the black women were not as cute at all. Well, that is one person's opinion upon that. But yeah, the thing was, I think Glow was a little before its time, H2. I think proper marketing, it would have came off a lot better than it did at times. I think it would come off better now, even. That's why I wouldn't mind seeing something at least similar to what they were doing there. The big dude actually had a small career in the rap game before wrestling, and the Swerve guy is okay, but the gimmick is terrible. I think it's all trash. I got to be honest. Like I said, outside of the big dude, and you know, he can spit a little bit. I seen that, but no, I wasn't really for it. But okay, hopefully, Pride, that's enough to wet your whistle for a couple weeks, because we out of here, bro.
All right, y'all. Have a good one. Thanks for watching.
Thank you very much, everybody, for coming in. Again, we'll be back in a couple weeks. In the meanwhile, can I get a early happy birthday from everybody? It's my birthday in 6 days, y'all.
Happy birthday, E.
Say it like you mean it. Oh! Straight up. Dude gonna wish me happy birthday, then dip? That's how we doing? That's how we doing it, you? Thank you, Pride. Well, apparently, you said the hell with the rest of the show. Really? Really? That's how you feel, H2? I ain't do you like that on your birthday, bro. All right. I see what time it is. Let me get up out of here. The show done went out of hand. Good night, Bernie. Good night, y'all. We out. I think we out. Yeah, we out. Bye. Gametime Audible is a Nighthawk Network presentation.